So the beauty about coming and touring off season is these motorhome park ups can be a little bit quiet. Didn't totally have it to ourselves last night. There were another two couples here staying the night, but as you can see, this in the summer months is, I think we've passed the sign saying 10 or 15 euros per night to stay here, and in the winter months it's free. So in the southern part of France, we've come to a place called Rocamadour. You can correct me on that. So it's a cliffside village. Apparently they've got a Black Madonna here, and it's very big on the, shall we say, Christian side of things. So yeah, but yeah, it's very quiet here. This is the back cave. Drippy cave. Is that it? Yes, it's very religious. Got all the stations of the cross, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's a really nice place, and as you can see from the towering cliffs, we're still not down at the village yet, which is just down here, but yeah, you can see the church up on top. But yeah, I would imagine, you know, coming Easter time, this place would be chocked in. Yeah, absolutely rammed. So but whilst we're passing, just thought we'd call in and have a look. Helen keeps seeing these cave entrances, so we've just got to keep like exploring. I think they're missing out on something here. You can just see a bit of a counter, breakfast bar, bacon egg sandwiches, cups of coffee. Not very religious, but I've got to say this place is amazing. It's just like something out of a film set, it really is. You know, Rocamadour is one of those places where I think everyone should visit. yeah, it's a little town village set into the cliffside, and it's beautiful. It could be straight off any film set. It's based around religion, so there's a lot of churches and Jesus Christs, you know, wherever you walk. And I can imagine Easter and summer being very, very busy. There are lots of campsites and car parks in the area, but I can imagine it being very, like I say, very busy in the summer months. So we left Rocamadour, and this is where we found ourselves this morning. So Rocamadour is actually further to the north, and we come down through the national park. Now the reason why we come down through the national park is quite simply because our sat nav told us that there was going to be a problem around Toulouse, which is sort of like in the behind me in that direction. They don't like diesel vehicles, they don't like old vehicles in Toulouse, so unless you wanted to pay the tolls and the congestion charges, low emission zones, you are actually better off keeping well away from Toulouse. So hence coming through the national parks, which we don't mind, we like the national parks. And coming along this road yesterday down here, we did actually spot the church up on the top here, so we said, right, we'll have a look at this and just, you know, maybe stop here for a cup of tea, but we ended up spending the night here. So yeah, beautiful. St. John the Baptist Church, and we actually set at 806 metres, so you get a really good view. And looking down south there, we've got the Pyrenees, we've got Toulouse over this area just behind me, so we've got the Pyrenees mountains, and over to the far side there we've got the Mediterranean. So we are heading towards where the sun is, so we'll be heading sort of like south down towards Andorra. But yeah, what a beautiful stop off. But our mission today, before we do anything, is to get some LPG. Our diesel heater, the Chinese diesel heater, stopped working about a week ago. I've tried replacing the glow plugs, and there's some issue, I don't know what. So before we head over to any mountain region where it's going to be a little bit cooler, maybe a little bit of snow on the ground, we're going to have to get some more LPG, because we're quite low at the minute anyway. We need some more LPG because it's going to be the main source of our eating. So first job today, find some LPG. We've just managed to get some LPG, and I must admit we've gone to maybe 3 or 4 petrol stations today. Height restrictions, and Total seems to have stopped doing all the LPG. So yeah, we've had a nightmare. It's Christmas Eve, and we're a little bit panicky because we've got a roast pork joint to cook tomorrow.
It won't be roast without LPG.
Yeah, and I was figuring we're going to have to do it on the barbecue maybe, because we're like really down to the last few drops of LPG. So anyway, we've got some, thankfully. We're just plotting as route now, or Helen is, plotting it down south, down towards the Pyrenees. Whether we get to Andorra tonight, I don't know. It's 2:30, so normally it's this point, you know, this time in the day when we normally actually parking up and chilling out. So and it's saying
About an hour.
yeah, it's an hour, and that's to the foothills of the Pyrenees. So I don't know. It's Christmas Day tomorrow, and we're going to just park up, chill, and have lunch, really, isn't it? Christmas dinner. So right, we're going to push on, and I mean it's beautiful at the minute. You can see really nice weather, t-shirt weather. I've got a little bit of a sweat on, I think that's just down to not being able to find LPG, but and the pressure from Helen. But anyway, we'll catch you soon. Well, good morning. Boxing Day today, so I hope you've all had a good Christmas. We spent the last couple of nights here. Had Christmas lunch yesterday. Yeah, really nice. And I'm just going to show you actually where we are. So we haven't quite made Andorra, but you can see we've got Foix, the town of Foix in the valley there. So we will be actually going back down that way to pick up the main highway towards Andorra, which is sort of like in this direction here. So you can just see the mountains. Beautiful place, beautiful place. This was on park for the night, and a lot of cars all day yesterday. Cars coming up here, cars returning, and I'm guessing there must be another car park a little bit further up, where the walkers park. But there's a 3.5 ton weight limit on this road here, so we could only just stop here. What a great view! What a great view! And I know this vlog is a little bit mixed, and I suppose that's overlanding and travelling in the sense of it, really. You know, some days you can pull to an area like this and it's absolutely beautiful. The next day doesn't quite go to plan, and sometimes it is nice to plan things day by day, and others it's just easier just to get on with it and you turn up where you turn up. And we like this place here. I mean, we started off aiming for Andorra. It was another 1.5-hour drive away from here, and we said, let's get up in the mountains and let's enjoy it. What a great view this has been. I'll be struggling for a thumbnail for this little episode. We've come from Andorra and we've decided just to stop south of Andorra in Spain and then use the bike to go back into Andorra. I check the bike on a daily basis, the bike rack and everything. And we've come down here this morning, little quiet village just south of Andorra. Andorra is just a few miles north of us now, but I've checked the bike this morning. I'll come to take the bike off, and we've got a nut, a swivel what's snapped. Now it's not so much the swivel what's snapped, it's the bolt what holds the swivel on. So I think this vlog is certainly going to be one of those where it's going to be a little bits of everything just thrown in there. Just so you can actually see what happens basically on a daily basis when you are overlanding. And it's something what I always talk about, having that flexibility to actually adjust your route, to adjust your timings and everything. And this is why sometimes we say we don't really have a plan, because best laid plans will always normally go tits up anyway. So yeah. There's a couple of guys repairing a car just here, so we spoke to the guys, Spanish, not my first language. Is ideally what we need is another bolt very similar, or another coupling very similar to this one here. But it's day after Boxing Day, and a lot of these places, a lot of towns are very quiet at the minute. But I mean, certainly the bolt shops and the tool shops are all going to be closed. So trying to get something ideally like that is going to be difficult. So what we're going to try to do is obviously try to make this secure again and working, and then maybe after the new year try to source a fixing like that where we can actually improve what we've got, because this is really still under test. I mean, the bike rack is quite, not the bike rack isn't new, but the fixing plate of it is very new, so it's still under test really. So maybe you know, if we can get it sort of like operational, use it for the next couple of days, take it steady maybe, and then after New Year, when we're further down in Spain, try to pick up one of these connectors. But all fun and games, eh? So within about 10-15 minutes they've come back with these little connectors, the extended bolts, which is what we had, whereas the bolt snapped off in hours. So maybe the wrong type of bolt we used, I don't know, but at least now we can get the bike back on and travel, just take it steady, and then we'll try to replace firstly try to get the right bolts and then replace it with one of these connectors. So yeah, things are good, so we're back on track. So as normal, we've come here shopping and I've bought nothing. Helen needed a new helmet, so new helmet, and that's about it really. Cool. So we spent about 4 hours in Andorra. Yeah, duty-free shops, perfume shops, motorcycle shops, cigarette, tobacco, that sort of thing. Yeah, we went in, Helen will want a new helmet, so we got Helen a new helmet, and I'm going to leave the bike at the side of the truck tonight. You can see where we are, sort of like on the outskirts of a small town, but there's not much happening. So I'm going to cover the bike up tonight, chain it up, and then put it on the bike rack tomorrow, and just make sure it fits. Hopefully a lot better than what it did do. Yeah, rather than throw it on tonight and rushing it, I'd rather leave it till tomorrow and do it in the morning. So first time some of you have probably seen the bike. So we've gone for a BMW GS 310. So it's only 310cc. So it's not a massive bike, and I think it weighs about 175 kilos. So it's only probably about 40-45 kilos heavier than the old bike. The reason why we changed the bike, we wanted something a little bit more comfier for riding that little bit longer distance. The Yamaha Cero was a great bike, 1980s, 1990s technology, really liked it. But to be quite honest with you, I could probably manage about 50 minutes riding the bike, and Helen could probably manage about 20 minutes on the back. It just weren't built for comfort. It rides like a big bike, and it is a lot comfier. So that were the main reasons for changing the bike and upgrading it. It's sort of like our last chance, and what we actually said were, having the bike on the back is a nice luxury. But if it's a luxury you're not going to be using, then why even have it on the back? You know, you might as well have something else on. So we've decided on this holiday, or we've agreed on this holiday, that we are going to try to use the bike more. So certainly Andorra, it's not a good place for parking a vehicle like we've got. So we came through Andorra yesterday, got straight through Andorra, landed in Spain, and then gone back into Andorra today on the bike, and that's worked really well, as most towns and cities are welcoming to bikes. Park a bike anywhere, just about anywhere anyway. So yeah, it's done well. So like I say, it's a BMW 310 GS. So I'm going to leave this one here because it's a little bit of an oddball vlog, this one, because we started off at a picturesque place. We've had one or two issues on the way down here past Toulouse and that, and then the bike rack today. So it's a really day on day sort of like vlog. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this one, and I'm going to leave it here. And well, one last thing, thanks for watching everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. So our problems continue.